Chris Sewell here, baseball card collector, investor, dealer in that order. Welcome to the good stuff. Today we're going to count down the top 20 most valuable baseball cards from the 1950s. The 1950s, sort of the decade that started it all in a way. There were baseball cards before the 50s, of course, but the 50s is when Topps first appears on the scene and sort of when we first see cards in the way we think of them today in terms of layout and size. There are lots of iconic baseball card images from the 1950s, a very important decade historically for the baseball card world. Rules for this list: we're going to use the average of recent sales in a PSA 6 to determine the ranking, but I'll show the value of each card in a variety of different grades. Only looking at the Topps in the Bowman set, so no oddball brands. Each player can only appear once, and the reason for that is otherwise this entire list would be dominated by about 3 or 4 guys. And one additional rule for the 1952 Topps set: we're only going to accept stars. That's because there are a bunch of sort of rare high number commons that are worth a whole lot and would sneak onto the top 20 and bump out a bunch of stars we want to talk about. So no commons from the 1952 Topps set, but don't worry, 1952 Topps still gets plenty of representation here. Leading off our list at number 20 is a card of Roger Maris, who is the only player on the top 20 list here who is not a member of the Baseball Hall of Fame. You're looking at his 1959, 1960, and 1962 Topps cards there. Maris was a four-time All-Star, he won 3 World Series, and he won back-to-back MVPs in 60 and 61. But he's most famous for owning the single-season home run record. He had 61 home runs in 1961, and that surpassed Babe Ruth's 60 total record, which stood for some close to 40 years. And then Roger Maris's 61 total held for close to another 40 years until Mark McGwire broke it in the late 1990s. His rookie card is from 1958 Topps, and Maris played most of his career with the Yankees. He's most famous for being a Yankee, but he did start his career with Cleveland, as you can see there. And PSA 6 copies of this card currently sell for about $575. You can see the all-time record sale of this card in any grade was a PSA 9 that went for over $31,000 earlier this year. Number 19 is the first of 8 members of the 500 Home Run Club who will appear on this top 20 list, and that is Harmon Killebrew, who played most of his career with the Minnesota Twins but started off with the Washington Senators, as you can see in the cards there. You got his 1956, 58, and 59 Topps on the screen. The 56 on the left is his second-year card. The 58 and the 59, I guess they use the same photo for. The 59 on the right is in the high number series, so a little more valuable than it would otherwise be. 13-time All-Star, and like I said, over 500 career home runs, 573 to be exact. That still ranks 12th all-time, some 50 years after he retired. His rookie card is from 1955 Topps, and you'll see basically every card on here is a rookie card. There's a couple exceptions to that, but for the most part, it's all rookie cards. And PSA 6 is currently going for a little under $600. That strikes me as kind of a bargain for such an old Hall of Fame rookie card in solid, upper mid grade. But PSA 8's going for about 6 times that. You'll see that's sort of a more or less a standard multiplier from the 50s when you go from a 6 to an 8. Number 18 is another member of the 500 Home Run Club, and that is Frank Robinson. You're looking at his 58, 59, and 61 Topps cards there. He played basically the first half of his career with the Cincinnati Reds and most of the second half with the Baltimore Orioles. Robinson, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated players in baseball history, especially when you look at card values. Most metrics show him as a sort of top 15 or maybe top 10 hitter of all time even, and his card values really don't reflect that. 2-time MVP, 2-time World Series winner, 14-time All-Star. He won the Triple Crown, and like I said, well over 500 home runs, still ranks 10th all-time in career home runs today. He was also the first black manager in Major League Baseball, so a very, very significant name in baseball history. His rookie card is 1957 Topps, and I called the Killebrew last one as a bit of a bargain. I would call this one as in my opinion, the best bargain on this entire list. A little over $700 for a PSA 6. 60, 70-year-old rookie card of an all-time great, significant name like this, strikes me as a good deal. $69,000, you can see, is the all-time record sale of the card in any grade. That was a PSA 9 about a year ago. No PSA 10s exist of this card. Number 17 is another Baltimore Oriole rookie card from 1957, and that is of the human vacuum cleaner Brooks Robinson, who many consider to be the greatest defensive third baseman of all time. He won 16 Gold Gloves as a third baseman, pretty crazy, and even more amazingly, he made 18 All-Star games. Won an MVP plus 2 World Series, yada, yada, yada. His rookie card is from 1957, as I mentioned. It's also in the sort of rare fourth number series. So it gets a boost in value because it's a little rarer than other cards from the era. PSA 6 is going for about $1,000, as you can see. 47 grand for a PSA 10 back in 2012. That would have been a very, very good buy, as it's a Pop 1 and has not been sold since. I'm sure it would fetch, multiple six figures today. Number 16, another 18-time All-Star. What's with these 18-time All-Stars? But someone on the short list for greatest catcher of all time, and that is Yogi Berra, who has some of the greatest quotes in baseball history. Some quotes that are so famous now that people may not even realize they originated with baseball or Yogi Berra, such as, "It ain't over till it's over," and "It's like deja vu all over again." A couple of my favorite quotes from Berra are, "When you come to a fork in the road, take it, and no one goes there nowadays. It's too crowded." On screen, you have his 1950 Bowman, his 53 Topps, and his 54 Topps. His rookie card's from 1948, so this will be the first non-rookie card to appear on the list. Listen to some of these accomplishments. 18-time All-Star, as I already mentioned, 3-time MVPs, one of only 2 catchers to win 3 MVP awards, and a ridiculous 10 World Series rings. That's more than any player in baseball history. His most valuable card from the 1950s is the 1952 Topps. The 52 Topps set will be featured 6 times in the top 20 here, and that makes sense as it's, if not the most, one of the most significant baseball card sets of all time. PSA 6 is currently going for about $1,000. Number 15 is our first of 4 pitchers to appear here, and that is a card of Bob Gibson. You're looking at his 60, 61, and 62 Topps cards there. Gibson was a 9-time All-Star, won 9 Gold Gloves, 2 Cy Youngs, an MVP, 2 World Series, just a whole bunch of trophies up on his mantle. His most incredible accomplishment is probably his 1968 season when he went 22-9 with a 1.12 ERA. That is the lowest ERA of any starting pitcher in a single season in the past 100 plus years. Also had 13 shutouts that season, an incredible number that's, unfathomable by today's standards. His rookie card is from 1959 Topps. It's also in the high number series, so gets a boost in value for being a little bit rarer for that reason. PSA 6 is going for about $1,300. And look at that PSA 10 sale, $324 grand back in February of 2021. That is a Pop 3. Number 14 is Mr. Tiger, Al Kaline. You're looking at his 55, 56, and 57 Topps cards. It's second, third, and fourth year. Kaline, again, like 2 of the previous 3 players, an 18-time All-Star. Again, what's going on with these 18-time All-Stars? Does that even exist today? 10-time Gold Glove winner. He was a first ballot Hall of Famer, won a batting title, and a World Series, has over 3,000 hits and just one short of 400 career home runs. Rookie card is 1954 Topps. It's actually the 3rd most valuable card in that all-impressive set. PSA 6 is going for $1,350 as of today. Number 13 is a card of Pee Wee Reese, who played his entire career with the Dodgers, mostly for Brooklyn, but also in their first season when they moved to Los Angeles. He won a World Series with the Dodgers and is a 10-time All-Star. That doesn't sound as impressive after hearing about all these 18-time All-Stars, but 10 All-Star game appearances is still pretty impressive. You're looking at his 1951 Bowman, 1953 Bowman, and 1953 Topps cards there. The 53 Bowman in the middle is very cool. One of the very, very few sort of in-action cards that exists in the 1950s. His rookie card is actually 1941 Play Ball, so obviously not eligible for this list. His most valuable card from the 50s is the 1952 Topps. This is in the all-important high number series, which I mentioned at the end. Very, very tough series. These cards are really, really tough to find and even harder to find in high grade. You can see a PSA 6 copy of this card goes for close to $2 grand. Number 12 is our second pitcher and our only relief pitcher on the list, and that's a card of Hoyt Wilhelm. Very interesting career for Wilhelm. You got his 53 Topps, his 54 Topps, and his 55 Bowman there. If you looked at his career numbers today, you might not think he's Hall of Fame worthy, but he was really ahead of his time as a reliever. His 228 career saves, which ranks 43rd all time today, ranked number 1 when he retired. Other interesting things about his career are that he played for 9 different teams, and he made his major league debut at the age of 29 and retired at the age of 49. Pretty crazy. His rookie card is in the all-important aforementioned 1952 Topps set. It's also in the high number series, like I just mentioned with the Pee Wee Reese, a very, very rare series. So this is a very, very tough card to find, and especially in a grade of a 5 or higher. $2,600 plus is what a PSA 6 will cost you today. Number 11 is our third of 4 pitchers, and that's a card of Satchel Paige. And those 3 cards you're looking at are his only 3 cards that exist in the hobby during his playing days. He has a 49 Bowman, a 48 Leaf in the middle, and the 53 Topps on the right. So only the 53 Topps is eligible for this list. The 48 Bowman in the middle is an impossibly rare card, and if it was eligible for this list value-wise, it would land at number 2. Paige made his major league debut in 1948 at the age of 42, making him the oldest player to ever make his major league debut in baseball history. This was due to baseball's color barrier, which was not broken until the year prior. Paige was the first black pitcher to play in the American League, and he was the 7th black player to play Major League Baseball. It has been stated by many historians that Satchel Paige may have been the greatest pitcher in baseball history had he been allowed to play in the majors. Hall of Famers such as Charlie Gehringer and Joe DiMaggio have stated that Satchel Paige was the best pitcher they ever faced. The 1953 Topps set is considered by many to be one of the most beautiful sets ever produced, and the Satchel Paige card is one of the most popular and valuable, going for close to $3,000 in a PSA 6 today. Number 10 is a card of Teddy Ballgame. Ted Williams, whose rookie card is actually from the 1930s, so not eligible for this list, but you can see there on the screen his 1950 Bowman, his 54 Topps, and his 1956 Topps. For all those players earlier bragging about being an 18-time All-Star, well, Ted Williams was a 19-time All-Star. Also won 2 MVPs, 2 Triple Crowns, and 6 batting titles. He finished with a career batting average of .344, absolutely crazy, and he's the last player to hit over 400 for an entire season. That was in 1941 when he hit .406. His career on-base percentage of a ridiculous .482 still ranks number 1 all-time. Think about that. Basically, it means he was on base 1 out of every 2 plate appearances. He ended his career with 2,600 plus hits, over 500 home runs, and close to 2,000 RBIs. That's despite missing 3 years in his prime in his mid-20s due to military service, and another 2 seasons in his mid-30s due to injury. He was not in the 1952 Topps set, which would easily be his most valuable card from the 50s if he was. But his most valuable card from the 50s is 1954 Bowman, one of the very few Bowman cards that'll crack the top 20 here. But this card's a short print as he did not want to be in the set and was removed shortly, and so not a lot of copies of this card got out and exist in the world. PSA 6 is going for about $3,400 as of this recording. Number 9 is our 4th and final pitcher to make the top 20, and that is a card of Sandy Koufax. Played his entire career with the Dodgers. A pretty short career, only played 12 seasons, but what a 12 seasons it was, and particularly what a final 6 seasons of the 12 it was. You're looking at his 57, 58, and 59 Topps cards on screen there. From 1962 to 1966, so a 5-year stretch, he led the league in wins 3 times, ERA all 5 seasons, shutouts 3 times, strikeouts 4 times, won 3 Cy Youngs, and an MVP. Again, that was all in a 5-year stretch, a stretch which many consider to be the greatest 5-year stretch of a starting pitcher in baseball history. His iconic rookie card is in the 1955 Topps set, with PSA 6s currently going for about $3,600. Look at that record sale, $384,000 for a PSA 9. What's amazing about that is that's actually a Pop 23, and there exist 3 higher PSA Gem Mint 10s, but none of those 10s have ever been put up for sale. Certainly, if one was today, it would fetch into the 7 figures. Number 8, we already had Mr. Tiger, and now we have Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks. He got his 1955 Topps, 57 Topps, and his 59 Topps All-Star there. 55 Topps on the left is his second-year card. Another member of the 500 Home Run Club. As I mentioned, 8 of them appear on this list. He won back-to-back MVPs, 14-time All-Star, and won a Gold Glove. Like Mr. Tiger, Mr. Cub's rookie card is in the 1954 Topps set, with PSA 6s going for about $4,000 today. You can see the record sale of a PSA 9, $144,000 a little over a year ago. In a 9, the card is a Pop 14, and there exist 2 copies higher in a PSA Gem Mint 10. But like the Koufax, neither of those have ever been put up for sale, and if they were, would surely fetch into the 7 figures. Number 7 is our second and final catcher to appear, and that is a card of Roy Campanella. And like Yogi Berra earlier, Campanella is the only other catcher besides Berra to win 3 MVP awards, and both of them did it during the 1950s. That's sort of interesting. Campanella won 3, including 1955, which was the year the Dodgers won their first World Series title. Campanella's career started late, again due to baseball's color barrier. He made his major league debut at the age of 26, and his career ended early due to a serious injury. He had to retire at the age of just 35. But despite playing only 10 seasons in the majors, he's widely considered one of the greatest catchers of all time. His rookie card is from 1949 Bowman, so it doesn't make it here, but you're looking at his 51 Bowman, his 53 Bowman, and his last card in the hobby during his playing days, his 1957 Topps on screen there. And his most valuable card from the era, or from the decade, is 1952 Topps, not surprising. Again, in the high number series, super rare, impossible card to get in mid or high grade. Close to $5,000 is what it would cost you to pick up a PSA 6 copy today. Number 6, we're getting down to the final stretch here and have some all-time legendary names left in baseball lore. Number 6 is Roberto Clemente. You got his 56 Topps, 58 Topps, and 59 Topps there. 15-time All-Star, 12-time Gold Glove winner. He won 4 batting titles, an MVP, and 2 World Series rings. But Clemente's place in history goes far beyond that. He was the first Latin-born player to make the Hall of Fame, and he was known as a humanitarian. And he tragically died in a plane crash during his playing days. He was still active while he was delivering aid to Nicaragua, who had just recently suffered a major earthquake. Major League Baseball lifted the 5-year waiting rule for the Hall of Fame for Clemente and Clemente only. He's the only player ever to be elected to the Hall of Fame just 1 year after his final playing day. Today, the Roberto Clemente Award is still given out every year in baseball. It is given to the player who, quote-unquote, best exemplifies the game of baseball, sportsmanship, community involvement, and the individual's contribution to his team. His all-important rookie card is the iconic 1955 Topps card number 164, with PSA 6s going for about $6,700 today, and they ramp up quickly from there. Look at the PSA 8 sale, 86 grand plus, and the all-time record sale is a PSA 9 going for over $1 million back in March of 2021. In a PSA 9, it is a Pop 11, and there is exactly 1 copy graded higher in a PSA Gem Mint 10 holder. Number 5, Hammerin' Hank Aaron. You got his 1955 Bowman, his 56 Topps, and his 57 Topps there. The 55 Bowman on the left is second year. The 57 Topps on the right is actually a reverse negative. Hank Aaron was a right-handed hitter, but the image there shows him obviously as a lefty. All right, what can we say about Hank Aaron? Well, let's start with he was a 21-time All-Star. That's right, you heard that correctly. 3 Gold Gloves, also won an MVP and a World Series title. Aaron's probably most famous for having the all-time career home run record of 755. He held that record. He surpassed Babe Ruth in the mid-70s and held that record for about 30 years before Barry Bonds finally broke it. He still ranks number 2 all-time in career home runs today, and is still the all-time leader in career RBIs and career total bases. Pretty impressive that he still owns those records some 50 years after he retired. He ranks 5th all-time in career WAR for position players behind Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, Barry Bonds, and another player yet to appear on this list. His legendary rookie card is from 1954 Topps, and a PSA 6 is approaching $10,000. The all-time record sale you can see there is $645 grand for a PSA 9 back in February of 2021. That's a Pop 25 with 2 higher, and you could make the case that if a PSA 10 was put up for sale today, it would challenge the all-time world record sale of any baseball card ever. Number 4 is yet another member of the 500 Home Run Club, and that's a card of Eddie Matthews, who played almost his entire career with the Braves. You got his 53 Bowman, his 53 Topps, and his 54 Bowman there. 12-time All-Star. He also won 2 World Series rings, and like I said, a member of the 500 Home Run Club. His rookie card lands in the 1952 Topps set, which we've talked about quite a bit already, and on top of that, it's in the high number series, and on top of that, it is the last card in the set. Sets from the 60s and the 50s often have added value for cards number 1 and the last card in the set, as those cards were often the hardest to find in higher grade condition. Look at that PSA 6 value, about $16,000 for a PSA 6. PSA 8's getting into 6 figures. On a PSA 8, it's just a Pop 14, and there's only 2 PSA 9s with no PSA 10, so that gives you a sense for how tough it is to find this card in extremely high grade. Now into the top 3, and our bronze medal goes to a card of Jackie Robinson. Robinson only has 8 cards from major brands during his playing days. You're looking at 3 of them there. 1950 Bowman, the 1953 Topps, and the 1956 Topps. The 56 Topps on the right is his last card in the hobby. His rookie cards are 1948 Leaf and 1949 Bowman, depending on how you view the 48 Leaf set, but both of those obviously not in the 50s, so don't qualify for this list. Robinson is, of course, best known for breaking baseball's color barrier in 1947 when he became the first black athlete to appear in a Major League Baseball game. He only played 10 seasons, mainly because he started his career late because of the color barrier, but in those 10 seasons, he had a Rookie of the Year, an MVP, 7 All-Star games, and is widely considered one of the greatest second basemen of all time. He was baseball's first Rookie of the Year award winner, and the Rookie of the Year award was renamed and is still known today as the Jackie Robinson Award. His jersey number 42 has been retired by Major League Baseball, and it is the only jersey number ever to be retired by the entirety of Major League Baseball. His most valuable card from the 1950s is no surprise in the 1952 Topps set. It is also in the high number series, which of course, as I mentioned a number of times, adds quite a bit of value since the series is so rare. PSA 6 is going for around 23 grand today. The all-time record sale, as you can see there, was a PSA 9 that fell just short of $1 million back in March of 2021. And a 9, it is a pop 11, and there are no PSA 10s on planet Earth. Number 2 is the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays. He got his 52 Bowman, his 52 Topps, and his 54 Topps. The 252s are second-year cards. The 52 Topps in the middle there would rank in the top 10 on this list if we allowed for duplicate players. All right, let's read off some of these accomplishments. 20-time All-Star, 2-time MVP, won a World Series ring, the Rookie of the Year, 12 Gold Gloves, 660 career home runs. That ranks 6th all-time, and he ranks 3rd all-time amongst position players in career wins above replacement, behind only Babe Ruth and Barry Bonds. His rookie card from 1951 Bowman is one of the most iconic baseball cards of all time. You can see PSA 6 is currently going for about 28 grand. The all-time record sale, the card is a PSA 8 going for 338 grand back in March of 2021. In a PSA 8, it's a pop 77, and there's only 8 copies of the card ever graded a 9 with no 10s. No copies of the 9s have been put up for sale in a number of years. And that brings us to number 1. No surprise, I'm sure you've all guessed it, a card of Mickey Mantle, the all-time king of baseball cards. Here in the photo, you got his 1951 Bowman rookie on the left, which actually doesn't even crack the list, although that card would rank in the top 5 if we allowed for duplicate players. The 53 Bowman in the middle and the 53 Topps on the right. All 3 of those are extremely iconic images in the baseball card world. In fact, most of Mickey Mantle's 50s cards would be classified as such. Mantle made 16 All-Star teams. He won 7 World Series rings. He won 3 MVPs, the Triple Crown, a Gold Glove, and is a member of the 500 Home Run Club. But the numbers don't really tell the whole story, as he was the most popular player on the most popular team for basically 2 decades, more or less an entire generation, just as baseball cards were becoming part of American culture. If we allowed for duplicate players, Mantle would have held approximately 10 out of the top 20 spots on this list. The most valuable baseball card from the 1950s is Mantle's 1952 Topps, arguably the most iconic baseball card of all time. It's in the high number series, and actually that's the first card in the high number series, card number 311. You can see PSA 6 is going for about $137,000 today, and the all-time record sale of the card was a PSA 9 that sold for over $5 million back in January of 2021. That is the second highest sports card sale in world history. In a 9, it's a pop 6, and incredibly there exist 3 PSA 10s, none of which have ever been put up for sale. So that's it, your 20 most valuable baseball cards from the 1950s. I do have to mention that my research department made a mistake and accidentally omitted this 1952 Topps Mini Minoso rookie card, which should have been on there, would have landed about 13th or so. Didn't really realize it until after the edit was already done and too late to slice it in, but my research department has been reprimanded accordingly, and my apologies go out to Mr. Minoso. Thank you everyone for watching, and let me know in the comments what you thought of the list. Were there any cards that were sort of ranked higher than you would have thought, or lower than you would have thought, or whatever the comments may be? But I really appreciate it, and see you all again real soon. Thanks everyone.